and live. Here we are. Hello,
Okay.
Carl.
Hi, Carl. You're in the house. We got Carl. Oh, and he's wrenched up. He's going to take care of us too.
Yes, he is. He's a moderator.
Don't know how many we'll actually have today. We kind of didn't do a long announcement time frame for people to catch it, but that's okay because as usual, we'll have it recorded.
Yeah, you can catch it on the replay if you need to. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
So how was your week and weekend, Carl?
yeah.
He can put a little note in there and tell us how'd he do, if he's still breathing or I am still hanging in.
I don't see him anymore.
Oh.
So,
So
that's okay. You know, he might be popping around and see who's doing what. You know.
Well, and you said we were going to have others who were doing stuff at this time too. So
yeah, in fact, who? Oh yeah, I don't know if she's keeping on though. Violetta. Violetta.
Violetta.
Viola. Yeah, she went live at 11 Mountain Time. Should have been our 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So she might, but you know, sometimes she goes a little long. So hey, there he is. He's back. Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I would think if she started about 10, she's probably really close to wrapping if she hasn't already. And I don't know. I know Allie, they're doing the sisters tarot.
Oh, are they doing the mystical?
But I think I think that's later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure if Warrior Girl's able, she'll pop in and Amy and some others. So yeah,
exactly.
And peeked a little while on Allie's. I knew you was doing that, Carl.
Yeah, so Allie has got something going right now.
Yeah. So
she's a busy gal. She doesn't let the grass grow.
I know, man. I don't know how she keeps up that pace.
Yeah.
It
gets to be a lot.
Beauty in the sky. All right. There's Warrior Girl. Hello, sweetie. We just talked about you.
Hi. Yes, we were. All good things, though.
Yeah.
All good things.
Yeah.
Just sleepy.
Yeah.
I hear you. I've been up since before 2 o'clock. I laid in bed and flipped and flopped and flipped and flopped. But
2 o'clock in the morning, you just been
Yeah.
I know what you mean though. I have those times too. It's crazy. Yeah.
I used to just conk out, get my 8 hours, and wake up and be ready to go. And not so much anymore. I never know.
So we're going to talk about 2025 and being the change.
Being the change. Yeah, it's kind of a theme.
Now, are you creating that art? Did you create that art, or did you find that somewhere?
I found it. It was one of the threads that I follow on Facebook, and they always have such inspiring things, and I love to copy them and borrow them, and I attribute them usually as best I can if there's something on that says who did it. But yeah, it's true. We have to be the change. We have to model that. We need to help others understand it if they ask. If not, bless them on their way, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. Oh, 2 and 4. Warrior Girl was up at 2. See, I think I'm understanding why Sherry over at the Voices from the Swamp, I think I see why she does. She'll do like little sleepover. She's like, I can't sleep. Anybody else up? And she pops something up.
Yeah, she has a lot of those evenings. Yeah. It's really incredible.
And I've always been one of those, if I get too awake, if the brain gets engaged too much, I'm not going back to sleep. So that's always tough. But yes, so what do some of you guys think about ways to be the change in your day-to-day? If you guys can share that, maybe all 2 of you that's here so far.
Yeah. Warrior Girl said she's been here for our last 3 live streams. She's like, listen, passed out, but always woke up before we signed up. I love that. Yeah, I love that. So,
exactly.
But yeah, I've been trying to be very mindful of my thoughts, and my words. Very careful,
Exactly. And I have found that there's been a few things that have tried to ping my little web, and I'll just go ahead and say what I want to say. And then half the time I hit the backspace and I take at least half of it off.
Yeah.
And then I send my original thought and just leave it at that.
Yeah. I've been doing that too.
Yeah.
Real careful.
We do, because the concept that anyone could purposely hold to that thinking knowingly, it just strikes me as so bizarre that I just want to shake him. What's wrong with you? How can you think? But I realize that they're not even getting a portion. And we're getting less and less all the time in the news streams. So it makes it hard. But
yeah, that's what Warrior Girl says. It is hard to be the change in this chaotic world. It is.
Yeah.
But it's well worth standing in the truth.
Yes.
Of change.
And that's always my default. If nothing else, we lock arms and we stand and we witness.
Yeah.
Because to turn away only perpetuates it.
Yeah.
But usually anyone who feels multiple eyes on them, they're like, maybe I don't want to do this, or gee, maybe I didn't realize how ugly this really was, or whatever the situation.
Hi, Amy. Yeah. Carl has something here. Says, I'm not the same spiritually than a few months ago. I'm told I'm reaching new heights. I mean, not that high like you guys have psychic abilities.
No. It's not a competition for any of it, but it's just plugging away and plugging away. And you kind of see the culmination of decades of proving this and disproving it. In my case, I can only speak for me, but oh my gosh, even the concept of reincarnation, I remember grappling with that as young as 11? Are you 11 in 6th grade? Or yeah, 11. And I would think about that, and then I'd say, well, because I had this idea that we would just keep coming back as ourselves, the physical self. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Why would you keep grabbing up the same body? So that doesn't make sense. And, and then I would go back and put that against, because I was still being raised in church.
I wasn't locked in on that, I guess. The first time anyone discussed reincarnation with me was the omnipotent one, or the spirit guides, and it was after my father died, and I was 17, and I was sitting in the Triangle Park, and see, I wasn't going to have children, no plans. And they talked to me at the park that day. I said, okay, so my dad could have a chance at a better life. Because his was real rough. The ancestors, they held a rough home, and my only request, I says, well, if I'm going to have a son, can I have a daughter too? And they said yes.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what was delivered to me. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like my kids. They let me know for a year before I ever had even met their father.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was having series of dreams of I was renting a basement apartment, and I'm having dreams of being awakened to a baby crying in the other room. And I'm like, there's no babies around here. What's going on? And I have always said that they are the ones that created the compulsion for me to marry my first husband, because I literally
Yeah.
met him at a club. We dated for
Oh,
2 weeks and got married. And
wow.
14 days later, I was pregnant with my daughter. So,
My
and
God.
it
Yeah.
was like, yeah. And then right after, before we even got her out of the hospital, because she spent her first 4 months in the hospital.
Oh,
Well, then
no.
I find out my son's on arrival, and I knew
Oh,
he
my
was a
goodness.
boy. I'd had
Yeah.
like 8 different dreams. I had seen him. I knew exactly what he looked like. And the
Wow.
doctor, I'd go for my doctor checkups, and he'd say, "Oh, this is a girl." I'm like, "Nah, hate to argue with you and your equipment, but that is no girl in there." So I was right. Never question a mom. They know these things.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, all of the things we're going through right now, those of us that have children, have grandchildren, we're worried for them too. And that adds in a whole nother layer on
Mm-hmm.
this. So yeah,
Mm, yeah,
I think
exactly.
strategies are important.
They are very important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what's Carl got here.
Oh,
I
I
remember
remember.
when I was floor walking in our apartment with an awareness of my new body, small as I am. Ooh, I can
Yeah.
see the image clearly now at my age. So yes, I'm very open to reincarnation back then. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And one of my most vivid early memories is literally being in my crib, awakening from a nap, and
Wow.
looking at my left hand and the sunlight coming through the window, and being fascinated that, oh man, I'm small again. I got to go
Wow.
through this again.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's, and nobody discussed reincarnation in my family. That just wasn't even on the in
Yeah.
fact, I was always getting, when I started bringing it up as a teenager, they're like, yeah, that's a bunch of hooey. I don't know what you're listening
Yeah. We
to,
don't
but
want to talk about that. Yeah.
we
Right.
don't believe those things. Like, well,
Yeah.
maybe you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. When I
So,
before I ever went to school, I knew that this was not my natural home here on planet Earth. I just knew it. you know
yeah.
um and I think it's because I lived in the forest. I mean, yeah, we had a shack, and
Yeah.
electricity and stuff, but when you're out in the forest and you see all what's growing and all the little critters around and everything and how everybody's surviving and stuff.
Yeah.
The humans seem to be like the whack jobs here, you know
Oh, we're vermin.
out, yeah, out
We
of
are the
place.
lice on the back of Gaia,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
just
exactly.
filthy, filthy. They talk
Yeah,
about, they like to talk about trophy animals and trophy hunters and this and that. No, they're just culling the herd. And it's like bunk. The animals have it so much more together.
well, in the Old Testament, they called us pretty good too, didn't they?
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's what flood was about. So, and all the other times they just started to wipe us
Yeah.
out. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it
it's
is fun as they're getting into more and more of the archaeological digs now.
you know,
And they're looking back. I mean, I'm sure they are still getting bombarded by the scientific community and everything else to hold to the timelines as it's been established. But more and more, they're going so far afield from what the construct
right,
was,
yeah,
that they're
yeah.
like, we really need to rethink this a whole
I know
bunch.
they just found another set of bones, another branch,
Yes. Yeah.
which puts us into the 25th prototype for the Homo sapiens sapien. If my count is still on. It's been a while since I went through everything.
Yeah.
We're up to about 25 now.
And I'm glad that they're finally proving that we lived in tandem during Earth changes, during dinosaurs, that there were humans types there at that time. And, oh, have I ever had a out of body experience? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, do share.
I'll be very honest with you. I am a hippy dippy, child of growing up in the 60s and 70s in San Francisco Bay Area. I was a very free spirit in a lot of ways. And my first trip on magic mushrooms, I had an out of body, and I wasn't even aware until my head was hitting on the ceiling. Boop, boop.
Oh my gosh, really?
And then I looked down, and as I saw my one hand gesture, and I went, wait a minute, I'm out here. Who's moving that body? And the friend I was with says to me, go, fly, go right out the window, fly, check it out. You'll be fine. The golden cord will hold you. And I'm like, who the hell with that? And with that, I was right back in the body.
Right in your body.
And then I learned how to do it in meditation and in other forms so that I have better control.
Yeah, it's one thing I haven't done yet.
Well, and it's funny, even in my meditations now, as I'm getting different color and visuals than I used to get, as I move through, I used to see a pyramid that I would go through the center of and deeper into meditation. I don't see that anymore. What I see is this blue tunnel. And as I'm moving, there is a dark spot at the far end. And I see constellations. I can see lights in it. So as I'm going through that, literally, I watch as I get closer, the blue is literally falling into it. So it's almost like a wormhole, I suspect, would get the sense of.
Yeah.
And I know I would be protective, but I get just out through that and start seeing the universe open up. And then I'm like, oh, geez.
I know.
Oh, geez. Because my concern is, would I come back? Because I know I would see so many glorious things. I go, do I really want to go back?
You might say the heck with that.
Yeah. Okay. Fatima says, I had a neighbor that I had an argument with. Then she moved away before we made peace. Then years passed by and I was getting, dropped calls. And I would think of this neighbor. Did you ever find out if it was her that was calling? That's very interesting.
See, and that's where my head went too. Carl says, do you think that neighbor passed away?
That is where I was too.
Yeah, that's where I was too. Yeah.
Because doggone it, every time I start thinking of somebody out of my past that I haven't heard of in years, I find out that they had passed. And I'm like, well, shoot, I wish they'd get a hold of me while they were still alive. Oh, I called this place. It was the hospital. Oh.
Yeah. And she said the next post for elderly people. Yeah.
Well, if they are someone who's been impacted on the spectrum, the dementia, Alzheimer's spectrum, or if they have enough of a physical disability that they're no longer safe in their home, they can be at a facility too, which typically, like ECFs, aren't necessary geriatric only, but that's predominantly the population that is there.
Yeah, we have
Warrior Girls back. Then I got
Warrior Girls back. Good deal.
And look at
look
she continues. More years passed. Then I got a phone call. It was her daughter.
That is really trippy.
My mom.
Fatima, that is just
My mom is
something.
passing away, is what the daughter said to her.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Had you made
oh,
your peace with that friend even though you didn't get to communicate? Did you feel like you were comfortable in your heart, Fatima, that it was okay, that you had
yeah,
no quarrel with her, even if you didn't get to express that? Because she certainly will receive
yeah,
that, and I suspect it's
yeah. You
reciprocal.
can do that. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then she came to her in a dream. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
5D in dreams. Oh, yeah. We can
Yeah,
move.
there, yeah.
We're not encumbered by the physicality in the dreams, so in the
Let's
dream,
see.
she
What
was
is
apologizing. Oh, so she had
I,
something she needed to clear off her chest. Yeah. That's beautiful that that exchange happened.
it is. It
Yeah.
is. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And Amy and Carl are having a conversation here.
Oh, far out.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah. Cool 5D, Amy.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's what it is. Amy says, I've always been too scared to astral travel. I'm kind of in the same boat with Amy. You
Yeah.
know,
As long
I'm
as you're
just not sure about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you've got your grounding, your protection in place.
Yeah.
It's just an odd sensation,
But how
the
do you
first few
take off?
times.
I mean, I got no idea how do you
Just you just go. You just go. Yeah, like I say, in my case, it happened so
yeah,
unnaturally, being as I was in an
it
altered
was kind
state.
of
But I
spontaneous. Yeah.
slipped out before I was even aware. And it wasn't, like I say, until I looked down and went, "Hey, wait a minute, what's going on here?"
Yeah.
But
Oh, this is good for Fatima.
yeah.
That's great. She said she already forgive. Keep no grudges. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I can't hold grudges, or I don't have the
Mhm.
bandwidth mentally for that.
Yeah, or the icky feelings towards anybody. No, because
I don't wanna
it
live
just
with that.
hurts me.
Yeah.
And if or anyone else that's dealing with them. So
Yeah.
that's not a good thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
luckily, I sorted through a lot of that in my early 20s so that, um, I had a better grip on things going forward.
Yeah, I was deep into self-help books during my 20s. Yeah,
Yeah.
must have let.
Everybody
Oh, let's see what
I said,
she's got
"Already
here.
forgive, keep no grudges."
Yeah,
That's
fine.
beautiful. What a beautiful experience.
That
It
is
was so
beautiful.
strange. I
I
must
love
have
that.
left my body and met her somewhere, and we forgave each other. Sure, in the dream state, it's easy to step into that other room because that's literally what you're doing, and oftentimes, like, I'll dream I'm in this beautiful light-filled home. I'd almost say it was in a plush coastal region, because
Oh,
I'm looking on a balcony where the shears are just blowing in the sea breeze
yeah,
off
yeah.
out into the balcony and through the house, and there's a
Oh,
beautiful turquoise pool,
uh-huh.
and I always fight the urge to wanna jump off the deck to the pool below. Um, but that is kinda like a celestial place in my
Uh-huh.
dreams. So if I find myself there, I know I'm going to meet someone in spirit form,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
either crossed or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with Susan
And
Lynn. Oh,
yeah,
everybody
Carl
make
says
it
I
to
had
the
a
Hollywood.
dream the other night with Susan Lynn, and I asked her if I was going to make it to Hollywood. She shook her head and said no. But the one time I had a free reading with her, she said, New Orleans, I'll be. That's really cool. New Orleans, just about like a Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
uh, let's see,
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Susan is a hoot. I
She
resonate
is.
with her a lot.
I do too, and I
Yeah.
love. I have learned more about being a Virgo because that's my rising. I've learned more from her than anyone else because she's a Virgo.
Oh,
Okay,
Earth
what's her?
Spirit.
What'd she say?
She says, "There was a book I read in junior high where a girl astral traveled and another girl jumped in her body and took over. lots of laughs.
Ooh.
That's why you protect the vessel. It can get jumped. Those things happen.
Now, the walk-ins don't do that, do they?
You know,
I don't know.
walk-ins is another one of those topics that I am still wrestling with. I very definitely have met one walk-in in my life. And the mechanism of how it occurred, literally the soul that vacated the body was so in trauma that it could no longer continue in the physical.
Yeah.
And so you almost wonder, is that a pre-birth contract that occurs?
Yeah, what's that? Is that in the soul contract? That is a good question. Because when this happens, the walk-in, we're talking 180 degrees, totally different.
They can have accents, they know languages, they know topics the other person never, even food types. So yeah.
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 Dynamite says
I'm from Andromeda. Oh, here we go.
Who's from Andromeda?
Oh, Warrior Girl. She's a few down. She's there. Fado says, I also had one with my grandmother after she passed away. Also my mom. Yeah. Now when my now husband and I got engaged, my mother had passed, my aunt had passed, and my mother's best friend that we always referred to as Aunt Mary had passed. And I had this dream where the three of them are card sharks, these women, every stinking one of them, they are card shark. Well, they're having a raucous card game, and all of a sudden they stop and they look up at me and they're celebrating and they're like, BJ, we're so excited for you. This is the one you should have had all along, and blah, 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 and they're just going on and on. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks, guys. And so I woke up knowing that they were letting me know they approved of the engagement and were aware of it. And so, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, they come to us, our loved ones, they come to us a lot in dreams.
This is interesting.
12, 13 years after one of my closest NDEs. Oh, so, but you were aware of this, Warrior Girl. So was this truly a walk-in, or was it a helper that was just... But that's interesting that it companioned with her for that long. Yeah. That almost feels like a shared agreement of some kind. Kind of, but no term for it. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Terms. See, this has always been my frustration from the time I was little. Well, or, seeking and trying to get answers, because I didn't know terminology. I didn't know how to express what was happening. All I could say is, what I was seeing, feeling, sensing, hearing, whatever. But, so then it's like what I discovered with medical terminology, depending on the discipline and where you learned your schooling, East Coast, West Coast, very different terminology.
Really?
Yes, and very, very different brief forms to use in your note taking.
Well, in
Go figure.
In America, just because you're on different coasts, you're using
depending on the discipline and what school trains you. Yeah, that's why you can have a malleolus, which is the ankle bone, or you can have a malleolus, same damn bone. Two different expressions of word. So I'm a real picayune about verbiage, because it can totally skew a meaning. And so, yes, I'm always arm wrestling. And plus, I was in debate for several years. And I do love a rousing debate, but you've got to be able to state your points and support them clearly, and, back and forth and shuffle as questions come. Yeah. So, yeah, language is a big deal to me, and it's hard. That's why I hope someday there are schools, and there are some of them out there already that are alternative schools teaching kids very young how to explore their inner network and how to
and I'm so
define and
glad
work
for
with it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
like
be much
I
further
believe
ahead.
sound is going to be the healing methodology for the future. The sound and the vibration of the sound, absolutely. And
Yes.
Anima, she's Catholic people. Yeah, they don't talk about reincarnation. That's why I said that the omnipotent one sent somebody to talk to me when I was barely, I wasn't even 17 and a half years old yet, And they talked to me about reincarnation. No one
Well,
here on the planet did.
yeah, and I was surprised to hear that in the deepest the Kabbalah, in the deepest tradition of Judaism, there is a sect that they freely talk about reincarnation.
Yeah, yeah.
There's places in biblical scripture where they screwed up and left something
Well,
in that a good eye will pick up and go,
mhm,
that's in reference to
yeah.
reincarnation.
Well, in Egypt, they were obsessed with the afterlife and the
Yes.
eternal life and all that. It's wonderful. And then we got oh,
A void in my brain, shell of a body, although I did have
on
3
one day,
That
one
sounds like a
day,
fight for the soul. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, it does.
Oh,
What we got
second
here now?
enemy's comment. Carl,
Awesome.
not weird to me either. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not too much is weird to us in the woo-woo world.
That's right. Weird is my name. WYRD. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact, one of my friends in high school, her mother used to call us the Weird Sisters, and she meant
Yeah.
WYRD.
Oh. Oh my God, warrior girl. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
Got a lot of them. So
This is fascinating, Warrior Girl. I would love to talk in more depth to you about this
yeah.
because this puts me in mind of something that I experienced. Let's see, we've been in this house 9 years. So 7 years ago, I talked a little bit about it where I got jumped by a dark entity. It was like I passed through something as we were heading out to the highway 22, and all of a sudden something jumped on the back of my head, and I felt it go in my brain and go like this, like tentacles just moving through.
Jesus.
And I thought, oh my God, what's happening? And at first, because I've had a stroke when I was 21. So I was like, is this a TIA? Am I going? No. But now I don't feel like I can trust my thought processes. So is this really going to be my thoughts going forward, or is something trying to feed information to me?
Yeah.
And I got to figure out if that's the case, what it is, how it started me on like a 2.5 year journey to get that wrestled into place.
Wow.
But yes, it's some days you really wonder. I know my husband got where he could look at my eyes and go, that's not really you right now. And I'm like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So warrior girl, is she still echoing?
You're echoing. Oh, I have been echoing in and out, and we've been. I wonder if I've got my.
Because I don't hear an echo, so I'm just was wondering.
I'm turning my volume down.
She's also experienced with dark entities, but my walk-in was with her, a spirit guide or higher self. I don't know. Not too long back, my neighbor Pepe Le Pew's her code name. She saw like a dark entity following behind me, followed me into her apartment. So kind of weirded her out. But I didn't get all weird about it because I thought, well, Archangel Michael, you can protect me? Yeah. Okay. What have we got here? According to every medical book ever written, I was supposed to die in March 26, 2000. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, good.
Really?
Gravy. 6, 7,
with her.
That comes out to a 4 numerically.
Uh-huh. What do you think that means?
Okay. Well, you know, there's the question, right? Depends who you
I mean,
read.
4 is a foundational number.
Yeah, it is. That's interesting.
Yeah. 6.
But heck, if we went with death dates were given from medical people,
3.
I mean, I could have my daughter buried clear to China by now if I listen to those guys.
Yeah.
You know. Either.
On March 26th, March is 3. So you got 29.
Yeah.
Plus 2 is 31. Yeah.
So it's a 4. Yeah. So, you know, Warrior Girl, we have at
All
least
her life?
3 to 5 exits that we contract into most of our life contracts.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Right.
And I realized that they can happen anytime. When my daughter was impacted with a seizure at 5 that was documented for well over an hour. And we took her to the ER at a hospital. It was mostly geriatric, and they didn't have a pediatric area. And so they were trying to give her an IV of medication, trying to bring her seizure under control. And I literally watched them put her into respiratory failure right in front of me. And
wow.
I was just ready to go nuts. But they said, "Oh God." They got her stable, and they sent her to another hospital where they could handle her. But I said at the time, as I was watching that I felt like I was literally watching my daughter wrestle for her soul. Was she going to stay or was she going to go? Because she had had so many already near-death experiences.
Wow.
But I was like, no, this is a wrestling for the soul, and it's got to play out.
Wow.
And I mean, the doctors are saying her brain could be totally fried from this, da 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 da. And I'm like, no, I'm not hearing this right now. I get my information from a higher authority, and that's who I'm holding to. And she was fine. She couldn't remember the incident, but she didn't lose any ground really, which was nice.
Good.
But yeah, we do. We build in these 3 to 5. And when we are met with them, I'm sure, just like Warrior Girl was saying, I should have died by everything.
I know there's been plenty of times. I mean, dozens. I could have exited. I know. Yeah. So
and I'm glad. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, how about we open it up to questions?
Please, yes.
Yeah, we'll do that. And if you want to do political, I got this prediction step.
Yeah, she does.
And that's what it does.
Yeah. It deals with that's why those kids got great big eyes. Yeah.
Let's see, Carl.
Today, tomorrow, or this week be a breakthrough for me with those
deals coming up.
Oh, you still got
contracts.
He's still got deals, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. He's always working on contracts, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you're funny, Warrior Girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can we get a reading?
At the same time. Oh, I didn't.
Jinx.
Yep. Okay.
Never finalized. Oh. Yeah, that's got to be frustrating.
This deal's coming up. We're gonna go through.
Gonna sneeze here. Yeesh. Okay. All right. Never finalize. all these years.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't use this one. All right. Let's see. Career. It's a career question.
Yeah.
I've got love and career reading oracles. I think I might use them. There we go.
Infinite possibilities. I was just cutting this deck and the card was infinite possibilities are available to you. So that's it. When we are in a time of so much flux and change, that means a lot of available energies for building too.
Yeah.
Which is at least something. Okay. Yes, the planets are all lined up for sure. And yes, they speak to us. Yes.
I know that. Yeah. The 23rd, there was a whole bunch of them. Nobody said a word. That's okay. Let's see. Oh.
Well, Carl, I went ahead and just pulled a card because I was curious. And I got, it's number 35. And it says, turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? So that's kind of curious, especially where it sounds to me like you've gotten so far in a process and now you're waiting on the back end to see if it will develop. Is that kind of what I'm hearing? Or is this something that you can go ahead and let it suspend and then you are continuing to work on other things where you feel most impressed to focus your energy? That's kind of what I got from that card.
Okay.
You just pulled
one card? Yeah.
I did. Yeah. Because I wanted to hear what yours were doing. This is a little bit different.
Okay. Well, I pulled 3 from the clarifying life situations, which is love and career. Okay. Interesting. The first card is Ocean of Possibilities. All right. And it says, navigate through the boundless ocean of possibilities, where horizons whisper of untold opportunities and plentiful paths. And then the second card is Grove of Unity. Okay. Those are. And it says, bind energies in the unified sanctuary of the grove, fostering interconnected harmony among all beings. This third one, I'll show you the picture here, Look at that. And it says, hurtful events. As you endure this period, learn not to dwell on the past, so I won't anchor you down. So this tells me that there's a whole bunch of opportunity out there. And then the harmony of connecting with other beings, other people around you in your environment, And then this last one makes it sound like in your head, Carl, that you're dwelling, that you're all caught up in some past stuff, and it feels like you're kind of stuck there.
But what I noticed in one of his comments here, he says, I'm so close, BJ, if just one party puts up, then I can close the deal. So my thinking on that is, in your manifestation, see it as already done. That one person has already stepped in and solidified it, and you see it as done, and it allows you to move on to other potentials.
Yeah, because if I pull this clarifier, we get the vortex of change, you know?
Yeah.
So engage with that. Just like BJ was saying. It says vortex of change where energies swirl in transformative dances, molding anew. So yeah, it's like that manifest. What BJ was saying.
Yeah.
It is
done. It is done.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, great.
In fact, if you want to do a focus, you can burn a candle. Doesn't matter what color in this instance. If you've got a white candle, burn that, but see that as solidifying it, closing it out in a positive outcome. And then, yes, like I say, you can then focus onto these other avenues, because this is definitely the energy for doing all of that. We are in the midst of chaos. You might as well let it work in your favor. Chaos is the creative soup, right? And I mean, there are chaos witches, as they refer to themselves in their discipline. They consider themselves masters of the chaos, and they can be able to harness those energies. Oh, good. Carl liked the cards. I do, but I forgot to light the
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights on.
You're not the only one that still got Christmas lights on. I don't, but you know.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's all right. There's nothing wrong with keeping the holiday spirit. It didn't even feel like holiday this year.
No, it didn't to me much. A lot of people are saying it's a positive portal for manifestation. The way they are all lined up.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know. My husband keeps saying, "You're such a good manifester. Why aren't we winning the lottery?" And I'm like, I'd love to get those numbers, but that doesn't usually happen.
So we got any more questions out there?
When I'm watching, I do tarot reading on 45, and the Magician card. Yes. He is. He loves to. He's the stage hand. The ringmaster of chaos. That is him.
He really is, and he knows what he's doing.
Well, if you remember him, like I say, this guy unfortunately has been on my radar since the 70s, so I'm very aware of him. But
me too.
Sad, but so. But yes, I saw he did an interview with somebody just before the 2016 election, I think it was, and he made the comment. They said, well, what are you going to do? Oh, maybe it was just after. If you win or you have one, what are you going to do? He says, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to do Donald. Well, what does that entail? I don't know. We'll find out, won't we? And that he's serious, because he doesn't know himself. He is such an animal of reactive in the moment.
Yeah, he swings by the seat of his pants.
Which is why whoever is the last one to his ear is the one that usually gets their thought through that he'll act on, because it's the one he remembers. It was the last. That's why they're always vying to be in the room with him, or to be the last one in the room with him. And it's like, it's such a vulturous environment. I don't know why anyone would want to be in that. But
I totally agree.
We still call him 45. That's right.
I liked, who called, was it Susan Lynn? Don't listen to me. It might have been they calling him F47.
47, felon 47. Yeah.
F for fake, or the FU, But I think the F is very appropriate before 45 or the number 47.
And I refer to him as F45 because I just like 40 during that 45 4 years.
Yeah.
I knew he was illegitimate. This, this time around, it's blatantly wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I tend to call him T-bagger. Capital T dash bagger.
Yeah.
But a lot of people
Warrior
don't
Girl
know
says
this.
a lot of people don't know this, but the Magician card was the original first card and represents us incarnating with all of the tools. The Knights Templar tweaked this 22nd card and turned it into the full card. Well, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. I got no problem accepting that. Yep, I like it. Yeah, you're welcome, Carl. So, 47 does have a lot of enemies. You're right, Fatima.
Yeah.
Big time.
They could just line up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could do the prediction deck on 47 if you want. Yeah, I know you don't want that stuff, Fatima. We don't either. I'm sorry.
Her comment about the Canadians. Good on them. They're standing right up to them.
Yeah. The whole world needs to stand up to this F47. Yeah. Let's see. What we got?
Twitler.
They won't wear masks.
Yeah.
He's just terrible. So
well, he's doing a heck of a good job of doing what he's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe too good of a job. But I mean, we all have a purpose in life. Even if for some it's bringing joy when we arrive, for other it's in our departure.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the latter, not the former.
Yeah. I know. Okay. I'll be so glad when all this is behind us. But, for now we got to go through it, and we just got to be careful of our thoughts, and none of those icky energies,
Yeah.
And when we need to be critical, just use words like gobsmacked or disappointed or something that's not diving down, but it just cuts across,
Yeah. It's
and
baffling.
whatever. Yeah. That's true. Well, let's see. Oh, okay. Huh. I've been shuffling the Ask Your Guides. Okay, and I got a card here for us all. And it says, overthinking, nature spirit. So I'm going to pull a book out on here. Look at that. Lately, it's like, be kind to your mind.
Yeah.
Be the change and all that stuff. So let's see what this is offering us as far as guidance goes. It's got a number. What's that?
You remember when I was showing you this yin yang deck, and I showed you this card? Look what it just cut again into that card.
Wow!
And this is the one, decisions, that was also in the cut. Yeah. Mercury, message, travel, communications.
Yeah, goes right along with the card I just drew.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, because it's about the mind. See?
Yeah, that's right. It's funny. It's funny how they work.
Let me see what this one says. Let's see. Well, the long version, I'll read them both. You are overthinking and stuck in fight, flight, freeze, and figure out mode. That was a big one. Too much time spent in the logic mind blocks and drowns out the magic, mystery, and miraculous possibilities that comes from trusting your spirit and tuning into the universe for guidance and help. The logic brain focuses on dense matter and saturates you with limited ideas and beliefs. It is dominated by the fearful ego, which disconnects you from your source. and isolate you more than you already are. Your beautiful nature spirits invite you to free yourself from this dense reality and go outside. Look up and around and allow Mother Nature to nurture and restore your faith and connection to the world of wonder. Refresh your nature by walking along the beach or through a forest. Calm your anxiety by sitting on a mountain or strolling through a flower garden. Free your spirit as you wander through the local park and watch butterflies playfully dash and dive among the trees. Soothe your soul by walking barefoot on the grass and listening to the sweet song of the birds. Any time spent in nature will lift the fog of doubt and negativity that has descended upon your mind and guide you back to your true self. Better yet, take a longer break and spend some extended time in nature. The more time, the more refreshed and renewed you will be. Your nature spirit's message to you: reconnect to nature and you will reconnect with your true nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
That's beautiful. And I like Warrior Girl's comment here. Our ego knows it has an expiration date, whereas our soul spirits are infinite. Absolutely, yes.
I love that.
So, as I think it's interesting, as you were sharing your cards, I pulled from this Yin Yang Oracle, this one, Fire and Ice. First card, guilt, sabotage. Second one, comfort zone, clinging. Southern Node. And then celebration, gifts, and abundance. If these three, as I look at them, do not basically talk about the conditions that folks are pretty much in right now, one or the other is the way I look at this, that it all comes down to how we see it, address it, move through it. We'll either sit in sabotage and guilt, which is what somebody's trying to drive everyone and keep them under that spell, or we decide to exit and go to that comfort zone, right? And cling there, that, maybe I just keep clinging to this will all go away. And then the other that says, no, open up your palm, celebrate. Yep. And have your gifts in abundance. Carry you. Yeah. That's kind of beautiful. The condition. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know we were reading on the guy, but that's kind of what it seems like we're being tasked.
Yeah.
All in how we see it.
We've got to get through this.
Yeah.
We've got to get through this without knocking ourselves out,
Exactly.
And that's where just be careful with what your thoughts are, the words that you allow to roll around in your head, because you are the only one that can control that. And you lift yourself and you lift everyone around you. So
absolutely.
Okay, well, we're almost at an hour. Does anyone have any final questions or
thoughts?
Thoughts.
Posers? Queries? We'll get all the adjectives going.
There you go. Yeah. No. So anyway, but if anyone wants me to do any political readings, I will do it with the predictions deck. Okay.
There you go.
So anyway, I figured here on forward, I just let the predictions deck, if it's got anything to do 45 or any of that.
I didn't pass out this week. Us too, Warrior Girl. You were very, very much a value add on these.
Yeah. So that's
we don't want you knocked out.
No. Thank you for being here, Warrior Girl, and Carl, and Amy,
and Fatima. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys make for a very lovely conversation, and
yeah, you do. It's always good.
it's
It is
always,
always
yeah,
good. Yeah. So I
yeah,
love you all.
yes,
And shall we pull something for the collective before we leave?
yes, let's do. Oh, I want to do something out of Louise. This is Louise Hayes affirmations
Oh,
and
yeah.
forgiveness cards.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another one that I don't play with these too often, but they have
Mhm.
such beautiful messages, and it's on both sides. So let's
Oh, okay.
see.
Yeah.
Let me just reach in here and pull something for the collective. There is no problem too big or too small that cannot be solved with love.
Mhm.
And on the other side, I forgive myself for not being perfect. I am living the very best way I know how. That's all anybody can be asked.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So
Okay,
there's
that's one you got? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and split that. All right. What we got? Vacation.
Do you see my kitty in the yard, Walter?
Oh, we got vacation. I pulled that out of the
Oh,
middle of the deck. It says, a pause in routine can unveil paths to prosperity and hidden pitfalls. Watch the signs. Pause, perceive, proceed. There's your message. I like that. I like that. That's a good message. It's very good.
very nice. Yep, very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Well,
We thank
everybody,
you all.
what do we
To,
got coming up?
well,
Before we sign up, let's see.
we
What do
have
we got?
Sovereignty of Souls next Friday. Not this
The
coming up,
third,
right? Or is it
yeah, I
this
think so.
Friday?
The 30. It's the 31st, if I remember.
Oh, well, then it will be this Friday.
Yeah, it is. It's this Friday, 31st. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got that. And then we are, the following week, we're on a break for this. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, on the 3rd.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
3rd, it will be our next one from BJ and I.
Yeah.
And then on the 5th, oh, we got the same week. Okay. Wait a minute. BJ and I are the 27th. No, you and BJ and I will be back the 10th. Yeah, because
Oh,
I
not
got
the
you.
3rd?
No, the 10th, because we alternate. I get Denise is in between you and I.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, her and I are doing a live on the 5th at
Okay.
11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern for her. And
All right.
yeah, and then
Friday
Nicole,
night.
BJ, and I will be back this Friday,
Yes.
5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
For an SOS. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
All
Exciting.
right.
Well, thank you once again, everybody. Wonderful
Love
to
you
visit
all.
with you.
Love you. And
We
thank
do.
you for those that are catching it on the replay.
Thank
Sorry
you
we
for
missed
watching.
it.
Yeah.
Great time. Yeah, thank you for watching. Okay.
Hopefully you can catch
And
us next time.
we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Bye
Bye,
for now.
everyone.
Bye. Okay.